Elon Musk's lawsuit against Media Matters is here, and as predicted, it's weak as hell. It's available online if you want to take a look at it. And as an immediate indication of how weak of a lawsuit it is, you'll notice that Elon Musk, who has a number of different legal firms that represent him in his many lawsuits, are not involved in this because it's going to get laughed out of court. And that's going to happen for a couple of different reasons. So the first is that he is saying, how dare Media Matters say that we put ads next to anti-Semitic and hateful content? And in the lawsuit, he says that they did. They did that. That happened. Now he goes on to say that it didn't happen as much as they would imply that it does, or they had to only follow certain people to make it happen. But he confirms the core argument from Media Matters, which seems to me, as a person who's admittedly not a lawyer, although I am on season 6 of Suits, seems like it would undercut your argument just a little bit. But honestly, I think there's a bigger thing undercutting it, and it's something that we also predicted on the show. It has to do with this section right here. So his core sort of damage that he's claiming is that advertisers have left Twitter thanks to what Media Matters posted. And so he put this up and saying, after the publication of the false smear, advertisers pulled their ads from the site, which, as Media Matters admits, only happened after it reported that X was placing ads alongside white nationalists and pro-Nazi content, which he has already confirmed in this lawsuit they did do. Included in these companies, which all referenced anti-Semitic content in their withdrawal from XR, blah, blah, blah. He goes through and he lists all the companies. Here's the issue. Saying that it happened after the Media Matters article is not saying that it happened because of the Media Matters article. And if the companies, which did admittedly say that anti-Semitic content is the reason they're pulling their ads, there are potentially other explanations that still fit in with that. I have one example. If we could go to this graphic, it's when Elon Musk himself was shouting from the rooftops anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. That was happening at the same time. And it seems like it is going to be very hard for him to argue that this is all due to Media Matters activity, particularly when he is confirming that their report was accurate. And on top of that comment, he's reinstated numerous white nationalists and anti-Semites to X. He's even shared ad revenue with them, helping them profit from their hateful content. They've put so many people back on. A pro-Hitler and Holocaust denier account said it was paid $3,000 from Twitter. And so this is going to be such a difficult thing to prove. First of all, it seems utterly frivolous, and why it would be picked up in a state like Texas of all states. There's going to be a lot of issues in terms of that. But with his own enthusiastic embrace of anti-Semites, I think that this lawsuit could end up doing more damage to him because he's opening himself up to discovery. He's opening himself up potentially to his communications being revealed. I'm sure that he thinks that in every other area of his life, his money is going to get him out of this scot-free. But this is an area where he has already given the other side so much ammunition that I think he is really setting himself up for a major fall. What do you think?
Yeah, so this kind of reminds me of what they're saying is probably the Trump strategy right now with some of his lawsuits that he's fighting. Is it's more of a PR campaign than it is actually they think that they're going to win this lawsuit. Maybe I think you're right that Elon thinks that he is insulated from a lot of things because he has so much money, and he apparently doesn't care about losing money because he voluntarily lost $44 billion, right? $1 million. Billion, right? Yeah.
For Twitter, yes, it's billion.
Yes, yeah. So I think it's interesting because at this point, he's really trying to align himself with a certain type of person. It doesn't take Media Matters or any kind of, investigative journalistic outlet to go on Twitter and see that it is very anti-Semitic, that it does have a lot of racism on there. It's a very unpleasant platform to be on, right? Everyone can see it for themselves. And understandably, a lot of people have left the platform because of it, including advertisers. So now he might be just trying to align himself with a certain type of person. And in their minds, something like this, like Elon Musk suing Media Matters over this article, he looks like a strong man. He becomes more mythical in their eyes, more legendary. So maybe, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but it could be.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, there is nothing he can do that will get through to these people because they have fully drank the Kool-Aid. They will eagerly gobble up any like PR work that he does. And whatever the brand Elon Musk wants himself to be, that's what they will take. It doesn't matter how many stupid things he says, how many predictions he makes that are utterly wrong, how many times he lies about things his corporations are going to do when he says that there's going to be no COVID cases like 4 months into the pandemic. There's nothing he can do that will get them to understand how horrid and dishonest and, smooth-brained he actually is. So he has that going for him at the very least. But I don't know that what I'm about to read will become a part of the lawsuit, but I do think that while I can say that what he said was anti-Semitic, that doesn't make it anti-Semitic. You don't have to trust me. You can perhaps trust, the white nationalists and the neo-Nazis who love what he said. So Nick Fuentes said that the post Musk agreed to is what we were saying in Charlottesville. This is like when the Charlottesville marchers said Jews will not replace us. That's like a summary of that. This is the richest man in the world and one of the top Twitter users casually drawing a link between Jewish influence and anti-white hatred. He said that this is evidence that they're going mainstream. White nationalist Vincent James Fox said Musk is casually aiding and naming them on Twitter. The CEO of Gab said that this is evidence in part that Jews are the ones pushing anti-white hatred and of how far the Overton window is shifted to the right. Anti-Semitic YouTuber Keith Wood said Musk's post is evidence of how much progress is being made normalizing our ideas lately. White nationalist Patrick Casey said, I like what I'm seeing from Elon Musk. He's really pushing the envelope. And Alex Jones said that Musk's post is the truth. 4chan users, by the way, these are just randos, but their quote is saying Musk is our guy and is, quote, awakened to the Judean menace, which just, ew. Anyway, so look, I don't need to tell you who he's appealing to. The people he's appealing to are telling you how appealing he has become. This is who he is. He's going to have to go into court and he's going to have to show how it's all down to Media Matters. It's not down to his enthusiastic embrace of anti-Semitism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, and all that stuff. And I don't know how he is going to prove why these corporations made the advertising strategy changes that they've made, particularly when many of them had already pulled their ads a year earlier. Some of them came back, but canceling and restarting advertising is just a thing that businesses do. Proving that Media Matters is responsible for it is a massive ask, and I don't think he has a chance of doing it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.